What is going on, guys? In the last video, we lowered Steven's F-150. Now, he did mention something about his carrier bearing. He said there might be a vibration caused by something to do with the mount. I'm going to let Steven explain that further.
All right, as we were saying before, I did do the IHC lowering kit. I bought the four-wheel drive crew cab kit, and they were unaware that the 6-foot bed crew cabs have a 2-piece drive shaft. So they did not send me the carrier bearing relocation kit. And that's why I mentioned in the other video that I could possibly have a vibration from moving the drive shaft or the rear diff up so high whenever I lowered it, and it changed my pinion angles. So I've done some digging on the internet. So rather than getting a hold of IHC again and getting this bracket, wasting a bunch of time for them to ship it to me and all that, we are actually going to be modifying this cross member and instead taking this and just cutting this off and then mounting my carrier bearing directly to my cross member. So
awesome. So let's get started.
Yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so first things first is take the carrier bearing loose, take the stock bolts out. Alright, so once you got the carrier bearing down, I took the little inserts here that they screwed into out, and then what you're going to do is take a cutoff wheel and cut along this weld on both sides, and then that's going to free this up or cut this off. Let's get to it.
She's thick.
We're getting there, slowly. Some better glasses.
Safety first, kids.
Safety first. Oh man, these things are dirty. All the way through, right?
Yep. Now for the other side?
Yeah, now for the other side. I'm gonna probably pry down on that a little bit, make sure it's, try to break it free from the body. Or well, I guess it don't matter. Just cut from the other side now.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
On there, wasn't it?
Yep. I'm gonna go grab something so I can hold that without burning my hands.
This took roughly, how long do you think you've been cutting on that? About 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would give it a good 15.
Yeah, so just know it's not going to come off in a couple seconds, guys. Just
Okay.
something to note.
Pretty thick, but
Real thick.
I mean, obviously I wouldn't take a torch because we do have a gas can here. I wasn't worried about the sparks in it because we do got this protector on it. Some of y'all might freak out because you're throwing sparks at the gas can. But got that off now. What you can next step is put this up here, figure out where your bolt holes are. Now what you're gonna have to do is probably have to get extra hardware from hardware store, grade 8 bolts, 2 bolts, 2 nuts, a couple washers, about 1/2 inch long or so, because there's only about an inch in between or inside the cross member. So too long and they'll hit the top of the cross member. So you only want it so long so it won't hit.
It's be pretty straight too, don't it?
Yeah.
So how do you know if it's straight enough?
I mean, you pretty much just go off how it mounted on this bracket. What you can do is flip it over.
Yeah, you flip it upside down and see where the holes.
Yeah, this thing's still a little warm. I just line it up with kind of where you cut it off at, and that'll kind of give you a rough idea, pretty good idea of where your next bolts need to go. Almost lined up with the holes already in the cross member. All right, guys, so after getting that bracket off, I was trying to come up with a couple different ways to mount this. Rather than getting new bolts, I wanted to reuse my factory hardware. So what happened was I noticed this hole lined up with the mount. So using these, I had to modify obviously the subframe. If you don't want to cut this much of your subframe, then you have to do something else. But we cut this hole wider and bent this up so this can slide in. And now that will slide through to where I can bolt this. For this side. So then that would go up. And then tighten that one down. You might have to shorten this bolt because like I said, you don't want too long or else it'll hit the top of the subframe. But then this other side actually lines up with the other hole here. So now I've got to come up with a way to get either this other one slid in here somehow so I can bolt it down. So I'm going to figure that out and then I'll be back with y'all in a minute. Alright, so with this side, after me and Brian talked, we're going to cut from this hole to this hole and then bend this, flatten it up in so I can slide the bolt over the, I don't even know what you call it, nut and carrier or nut and holder over. So, and with that I'm going to use the Sawzall. I won't be able to stick the whole blade in, so I'll have to kind of just hold it off and then cut through. So, see if we can get it done.
Now it should be easier to take the air hammer and bend this part up so we can slide this in this side.
Correct. There we go.
Boom. All right, Steven. Hopefully this works.
Yeah, well, I gotta see how.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're gonna have to cut these bolts down as well because these bolts
I might
are
be able to
long.
add washers.
That's what I was gonna ask about a while ago.
Yeah, I might get by with washers because it's really not that far actually if you run the bolt all the way through.
Well, and then I was thinking with the thickness of this, you might not even have to.
Let's do a test fit and see.
A fresh test fit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just bottomed it out. Yeah, so still got quite a bit of play there. So I'm going to get some washers and put on there, and in the meantime I'm going to paint it as well. Obviously I don't want this to rust, so do that.
This is the part right here he's talking about painting, because this is bare metal. You don't want to leave this like this. So just, you know, you can spray paint black over it or whatever. Just something to cover that bare metal up so it doesn't rust out. Steven got him some paint on deck.
Actually, this is some leftover
What we got there, show them.
leftover truck bed coating
fresh
from
Rust-Oleum, baby.
this was used on Hairbrush Handy's accent.
Fresh.
Let's say I wouldn't stand too close.
Just a fresh custom job. S-Squared Customs, baby. Let's go. S-Squared Customs, exclusively here on the Brian Lewis vlog.
Alright, we got that all sprayed. I had me some washers in my drawer over here. If you don't, obviously go to a hardware store. Like I said earlier in the video, if you were just using bolts, you'd have to pick those up anyway. Just grab some extra washers, depending on what you decide to do. And let's get this mounted up here.
Pretty sure that worked.
For good measures. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Now, after that, you're done. Lower down and drive it. See if that vibration is going.
All right, guys, I hope we did a good enough job explaining how to do your cross member if you don't have a carrier bearing relocation kit with your lowering kit. Now, in the next video, we will be doing kind of like a ride around and reviewing the IHC lowering kit, and we'll update you if this fixed the vibration or not. Make sure you all are subscribed, guys. We're so close to 1,000. Make sure you turn the bell on so you get all the notifications. Until next time.